The Sabbath is one of those things that most people don't really know about. I'm sure most of us have read about it in the Ten Commandments or read about Jesus roasting the Pharisees on what the Sabbath is really about. But is the Sabbath still important to us today? Or was it simply a Jewish law that doesn't apply to us today? So, first things first, what is the Sabbath? Well, to simply say it, the Sabbath is a day of rest. Exodus 20:8-11 explains it, and I encourage you to go read it for yourself. But for the purpose of this video, I will try my best to simply explain it the best I can. Jesus made it clear that the Sabbath was not to be a burden, as the Pharisees made it out to be. It's not about keeping the laws perfectly, as Jesus says, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. But rather, Jesus healed on the Sabbath. He helped those in need. He was cheerful and used the Sabbath as a day to help rather than hide away. It's clear that the Sabbath is a holy day where we can abstain from our normal everyday work, for God says, 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. And it also implied that we should not buy or sell on the Sabbath, for that would be supporting those who are working on the Sabbath. But once again, the Sabbath should be a blessing, not a burden, and even Jesus' disciples picked grain when they were hungry. Another common question is, when is the Sabbath? Well, in Genesis 1, after each day of creation, it says, "And the evening and the morning was the first day, second day, etc." And then it goes on to say that God ended his work on the sixth day and rested on the seventh day, aka Saturday. Since the biblical day is from sundown to sundown, the Sabbath is from Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown. One of my favorite things about the Sabbath is the symbolism. The Sabbath is so much more than a day of rest, because at the beginning of creation, it was known that rest was important, and it was a beautiful thing. So keeping the Sabbath every seventh day was a special, holy day, where there was rest. This is so beautiful because this symbolic and physical rest all pointed to Christ, who gives us true rest. He says, "Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest." I always say everything God asks us to do is for our own good, and it's funny because even research has proven that. It says we need at least one day out of the week where we get rest from our everyday lives. When we get at least one day of rest per week, our stress levels go down, it reduces inflammation and the risk of heart disease. Resting boosts your immune system, it restores mental energy, it boosts creativity levels, it can improve your short-term memory, and can even make you focus better. These are just a few of the many physical benefits of resting on the Sabbath. So I encourage you to take a stand with me from Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown. Set aside the day to spend time with God, sing, enjoy nature, spend time doing outreach, go with friends and family and show love to the less fortunate or anyone in need. Jesus often healed on the Sabbath and taught us that the Sabbath was not to be a burden, but it was a special day that we can get away from work, from all worldly distractions. We can get away from buying and selling and instead simply spend good quality time with our Father. Instead of doing man's work, we can do God's work and strengthen our relationship with Christ all at the same time.
Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is where our hearts long to be overcome.